All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Vince Stehle, Executive Director of Media Impact Funders, and I want to welcome you to our annual Media Impact Forum. Before we get underway, I would like to thank our hosts here in Washington at the Henry Kaiser Family Foundation. We're very fortunate to be back at the Barbara Jordan Conference Center. It's an extremely professional and well-equipped venue, and we're going to have the opportunity to hear and see lots of great media examples throughout the day with all the great gear and the team, the very accomplished team here to help us through the day. And I want to bring up the man who makes this possible for us, David Rousseau, who is the Vice President at the Kaiser Foundation, and I'm happy to say Chairman of the Board of Media Impact Funders.
Thanks, Vince, and it's so great to see so many of you here today who are here for their repeat offenders of the Media Impact Forum, but also a special welcome to our new attendees who haven't been to a forum before. I think this is a really timely program today with the anniversary of the Public Broadcasting Act, and I look forward to a really great discussion of all the issues and challenges facing media today. We're here in the Barbara Jordan Conference Center, which is named for Texas Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, who, for those of you who don't know her, she was the first Southern African-American member of the House of Representatives. She was the first African-American woman to speak at a Democratic National Convention. And importantly, for the history of this organization, she was a trustee of the Kaiser Family Foundation and was a big part of our board's decision to move into supporting more media. She was also a member of the Peabody board, so she would have appreciated a lot of the presentations and discussions that we have here today. But I'm really looking forward to the free space we have in the agenda today to connect together in between sessions. I think that's one of the most valuable things we gain here as a network and a community of media funders, is to spend time together and to talk about the work that we do and to continue those discussions throughout the year, as Media Impact Funders does through various meetings and conference calls and other events. And I'd like to also acknowledge we have several other members of the board here today, and none of the work of Media Impact Funders and events like this would be possible without the all-volunteer board service in helping the staff pull this off. So welcome. I look forward to our discussions today, and thank you for coming here. And now I'll turn it back over to Vince, who will kick off what I am sure will be a really great day. Welcome.
Thank you very much, David. I was tempted to say that it's an honor and a blessing to serve under his leadership for our organization, but I think that goes without saying, I think, in any group like this. But the truth of the matter is that David is really leading some of the most important work here in media philanthropy today, overseeing the Foundation's Kaiser Health News program, which some of you surely know about. It's a top-notch newsroom operating right upstairs, churning out some of the most insightful coverage of our healthcare system at a moment when our nation's health policy really hangs in the balance. So if David disappears at any point today, it's for good reason. He's obviously got a lot of pots cooking upstairs as well. So throughout our history, our political leaders and the Fourth Estate have been tied together in a somewhat tense relationship, but our nation's founders saw the critical role of an independent press to the health of our democracy. Thomas Jefferson famously stated, "Were it left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers or newspapers without a government, I should not hesitate a moment to prefer the latter." I think we've all heard that. Later in his career, I think he soured on newspapers. He's rumored to have changed his view when he said, "Who cares about newspapers? Just give me a killer search engine and a subscription to Spotify." I think I heard him say that. Different apocryphal. Oh, sorry, that was fake news. So in today's program, we would like to celebrate the important work of public media over the last half century on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of federal funding for public broadcasting. It's especially important for us because it marks an area of policy where philanthropy has made one of its most enduring marks, and because it was launched with a sweeping vision that went far beyond just radio and television. And for several years leading up to the establishment of federal funding for public broadcasting, key players like the Ford Foundation and the Carnegie Corporation provided important seed funds for exemplary educational broadcasters. And in his signing statement, President Johnson acknowledged the Carnegie Commission for providing ideas and inspiration for the Public Broadcasting Act. And even more intriguing, though, is this far-reaching vision that he outlined in that statement. And we'd like to share a short piece of that announcement with you now.
In 1862, the Morrill Act set aside lands in every state, lands which belong to the people. And it set them aside in order to build the land-grant colleges of the nation. So today, we rededicate a part of the airwaves which belong to all the people, and we dedicate them for the enlightenment of all the people. I believe the time has come to stake another claim in the name of all the people. Stake a claim based upon the combined resources of communications. I believe the time has come to enlist the computer and the satellite, as well as television and radio, and to enlist them in the cause of education. And if we are up to the obligations of the next century, and if we are to be proud of the next century as we are of the past 2 centuries, we've got to quit talking so much about what's happened in the past 2 centuries and start talking about what's going to happen in the next century beginning in 76. So I think we must consider new ways to build a great network for knowledge, not just a broadcast system, but one that employs every means of sending and of storing information that the individual can use.
So it's interesting, isn't it? We think of it as an announcement for radio and television, but really it reached far beyond that. Now, of course, we were also interested in having Ken Burns come today. He was unable to join us to talk about his magnum opus on Vietnam, and we might have seen a different side of Lyndon Johnson if we had heard from Ken. But he was a complicated guy, and on this day, he, I think, put forth a vision for public broadcasting, for public media that extended far into our notions of what the internet is and can be for us today.